announces his plans to run again. We're getting more details now regarding foreign leaders that spent money at Trump hotels. So the House Oversight Committee documented the hotels accepting about $3.75 million from foreign leaders, foreign governments between 2017 and 2020. Is this a violation of the Constitution?
You know, it's a great question. There was actually litigation about this during the Trump administration, raising the question of whether President Trump had violated what's called the Foreign Emoluments Clause. That's part of the Constitution that says the president can't hold any titles of nobility, can't receive monies from foreign governments or the like. And the question was, because the Trump hotel was getting some payments from foreign governments, right, their hotel competitors brought claims, and so did the attorney generals of D.C. and Maryland. Those cases worked their way up through the courts of appeals and ultimately made their way to the Supreme Court, which dismissed them after the president left office, saying the cases were essentially moot. That means they had sort of expired because the president had left office by that point. So ultimately, the core legal issues didn't get tried all the way up through our judicial system.
All right, so you're saying that both of those lawsuits were tossed out. But while this was going on, while this was happening, why wasn't it a bigger issue?
Well, you know, there was a tremendous amount of media coverage about the Trump International Hotel down here in D.C., about foreign leaders and other folks, who wanted things from the government, staying there with the idea being that they thought maybe they could get some benefit by staying there and representing, that they were spending money at the hotel. Ultimately, it's not clear. There have been a lot of allegations made about, look, these people spent X amount of money. A few days later, the U.S. government made the following decision, right? There's been an attempt to try those things together. I think really where this would play out would be in a court of law, right, where these claims are brought and you got all the evidence and a judge or a jury were able to assess, is that what was going on here, and does it create a violation of the Constitution? Typically, presidents will hold a lot of their assets in a trust or separate them or get an ethics opinion from the government's Office of Ethics, clearing any of these conflicts. That didn't happen during this administration.
So Eric Trump has said that the family has given back the money. I mean, is this true? Is there proof of this? Because apparently he said that any profit the family company earned was returned through a voluntary annual payment to the Treasury Department, essentially. Do you know anything about this?
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that. I think that's an interesting way to address it. If in fact it's true that any money coming from foreign governments ultimately was paid to the government, and that the Trump family or the Trump Foundation or their holding companies didn't profit from it, I think that might undermine the argument that there was some tie between foreign government spending, right, and outcomes. But really, the key question is, even if they did have an impact on decision-making, that's what will be sort of figured out or assessed, at least in a trial.
Yeah, I mean, this all comes from a New York Times report, and I'm quoting. The report says, on March 20, 2018, Mr. Trump met with Mohammed bin Salman, the Saudi crown prince. Then goes on to say 2 days later, the White House approved $1.3 billion in arms sales to the Saudi government. But it doesn't stop there. There were at least 5 other countries that it seemed like the Trump White House was doing business with.
Yeah. Well, look, one of the things that you have to think about is, correlation doesn't necessarily mean causation, right? We've provided a tremendous amount of money over the years under Republican and Democratic presidents to the Saudi government to buy American weaponry to defend their nation. So, the fact that the Saudi delegation stayed at the Trump International Hotel, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia met with the president, and then the president approved a transaction, that would be normal course of business for the government. The thing that's different here is this potential issue of staying at the hotel, and was there any tie between the two? And again, without more evidence, there's definitely a correlation, right? There's 2 events that took place around the same time. Is that causal? That's a hard question.
Right, and it didn't stop with foreign leaders, because the Trump White House was also overcharging Secret Service while they were protecting the president's family. They were staying at Trump hotels, Trump properties, and they had paid out more than $1.5 million to stay at his hotels, and sometimes they were charged 5 times the amount.
And this is the challenge, right? When a president has extensive holdings like President Trump did, and then doesn't put them in a blind trust, doesn't hold them separately, doesn't get ethics clearance from the normal way that presidents historically and senior government officials, right? Senior government officials have to disclose all their holdings and have to get ethics opinions on continuing to hold assets. The Trump White House didn't ultimately do that, and that's what creates a lot of these problems, is not getting that clear ethics guidance ahead of time. Look, one of President Trump's appointees ultimately withdrew from the process of being nominated because it was too hard to separate his own financial holdings if he was going to be a senior government official. The president himself obviously didn't do that. That's what creates some of these challenges.